Dedicated, determined, dependable. This is News 10 ABC in the morning.
The University at Albany joining together in solidarity after 3 women were harassed on campus. How the school's president is using an event to bring students together.
The Zika virus continuing to spread. Find out how New York State is planning to respond to this outbreak. Thank you so much for joining us. Happy Monday, everyone, and good morning. The wait is over. This is it. It's decision day in Iowa. The 2016 presidential nomination process kicking off today. It's full speed ahead after this.
It is. The candidates spending the night crisscrossing the state, hoping to win the first in the nation caucuses. From here, of course, they move on to New Hampshire.
Right.
ABC's Lana Zach live in Des Moines this morning and has the very latest. Lana.
Good morning and happy caucus day. At 7 o'clock here in Iowa, neighbors will gather together in church basements, school auditoriums, even a grain silo as they try and pick the next president of the United States.
It sounds like you want to make a political revolution.
I am a better candidate, and thanks to you, I will be a better president, and I want you to know that.
This is it. Time is up for the 3 Democrats and the 11 Republicans running for president. Rob Sand will be administering a caucus in western Des Moines.
I think a lot of people are going to make that decision when they're listening to their neighbors.
In fact, on both the Republican and the Democratic side, the last Iowa poll found 5 points or less separating first and second place. And with about a third of voters still wavering in their support, campaigns can influence the results up to the last second.
I pray that God's will.
In their final day on the trail, Ted Cruz attended church.
You can promise me that you'll run this country like a God-fearing Christian man. And not a...
He said he prayed for Donald Trump and Marco Rubio, who made this appeal.
I'm asking you to caucus for me tomorrow because if I am the president of the United States, when I am the president of the United States, we will confront the challenges of our time.
Rubio fighting hard for an upset second-place finish or better.
Get out of bed and caucus.
And Donald Trump, long the man in the lead, gave his wife Melania the mic to close the deal in Iowa.
He will be unbelievable.
And we'll expect to see some of those Republican results pretty soon after they gather together at their caucuses today. But the Democrats, well, they can take a little bit longer, in part because it sort of unfolds like a game of Red Rover, where campaigns will try and pull voters from less viable candidates over to their side. Reporting live from Des Moines, Lana Zach, ABC News. Now back to you.
Thank you, Lana.
Red Rover.
Send a Trump supporter right over, or a Rubio supporter, or, you know. That's how it works. We've been talking with Nicole Alley about this, and she worked in Iowa, and she's been talking all about that. We're going to have more on that at 6:30 and how the process works in Iowa. It's really
definitely. I mean, it's a complicated thing if you're not familiar with it. Yeah. And something else, a complicating factor, always the weather. And Christina, Ryan, it does look like that Iowa is in for some nasty winter weather, but the timing might be important in terms of how it's going to impact the caucuses. I'll outline that later, but I do want to talk more about what's happening here at home. This is at Proctor's in Schenectady, and right now it's dry, it's very mild, but there will be the chance for a few showers. So let me show you the radar first. Here's what's happening this morning. Rain moving in from the west, but not a lot of rain. The showers we see this morning, they're going to be light, and they're going to be pretty hit or miss. Not everybody going to see those. And what rain we do see is probably going to happen within the next 2 to 3 hours. As we head into the afternoon, the showers should be done. Skies will break up a little bit, and winds will stay on the breezy side. Now, temperature of 49 degrees in Albany. That's the first thing you're going to notice. Definitely the headline today, the temperature. 50 in Pittsfield, 54 in Cobleskill right now. Pretty amazing. So the kids at the bus stop may not need a winter coat. Might be better off with a fleece. 40 to 50 the temperature range this morning with a few rain showers. Staying breezy, slowly cooling as we head into the afternoon, but slowly cooling. We'll see our temperatures staying in the 40s. Coming up, I'll show you our rain chance today, a bigger rain chance on Wednesday. We'll talk about what's going on in Iowa. We'll also check in with meteorologist Greg Pollock. Details on all of that in about 10 minutes. Christina, Ryan?
Thank you, Nick. 5 people in Berkshire County accused of causing physical and mental abuse to students at the Eagleton School in Great Barrington, and they'll be in court today.
The school is a private treatment facility for boys and young men with behavioral problems and learning disabilities.
And they're set to be arraigned this morning at Southern Berkshire Court. That's where we find News 10 ABC's Sam Damasio with more on this disturbing story. Sam.
Well, that's right, Christina and Ryan. It's not exactly clear what those allegations are right now, whether this was a single incident or something that was ongoing. But those are some things I'll work to find out for you later this morning. But police in Great Barrington said they started investigating these allegations of abuse last month. And on Saturday, they raided the school with state police and the FBI to search for evidence. Their investigation led them to 4 men and 1 woman. Police arrested 47-year-old Brian Punton of Lennoxdale, 51-year-old Peter Meadow of Lenox, 54-year-old James Swift of Pittsfield, and 34-year-old Juan Lopez Lucas, also of Pittsfield. They're all charged with assault and battery on a disabled person. Lopez Lucas is additionally charged with assault and battery with a dangerous weapon. Also arrested was 41-year-old Deborah Davis of Great Barrington for intimidation of a witness and obstruction of justice. Now, authorities will be back at the school today to continue to gather evidence. We'll be here, of course, for that arraignment later this morning. But for now, we're live in Great Barrington. Samantha Damasio, News 10, ABC.
All right, Sam, thank you. Well, today, the president of Albany calling on students to stand together in support of 3 black students who were allegedly harassed and assaulted over the weekend. University police tell us it happened on a CDTA bus just after 1 Saturday morning. They say the incident started off campus with an argument, but turned physical when the bus drove onto the campus. Right now, police reviewing video from the CDTA bus to help identify suspects as well as witnesses. Meanwhile, at Albany, the campus will be hosting its annual Martin Luther King Jr. celebration tonight. School's president says he hopes students use the event to reflect on Dr. King's values and join together in solidarity to reaffirm the school's views. 13 people now forced out of their homes after a massive fire at an apartment complex. It happened in Guilderland. The fire affected about 8 apartments off of Western Avenue. Check this fire out. Absolutely intense. Everyone evacuated immediately, some being transported to area hospitals for smoke inhalation. It took firefighters about 2 hours to put out the flames. Firefighters blaming a gas line for that fire.
World Health Organization will hold an emergency meeting in Switzerland today to work out a plan of action to stop the spread of that Zika virus. Nicole has details.
Yeah, Ryan, it was just last week WHO Director General Margaret Chan said the virus was spreading explosively through the Americas. We've seen cases in New York City and Boston. None locally, though. But today, the WHO could classify the Zika outbreak as a public health emergency of international concern. This type of designation would prompt a coordinated global response. The mosquito-borne illness has been linked to serious birth defects in babies, making pregnant women the most at risk. The World Health Organization has declared a public health emergency only 3 times before. For the H1N1 swine flu in 2009, the Ebola outbreak in Africa in 2014, and the resurgence of polio in 2014 as well. If you are concerned about the virus or you want more information, New York State's Commissioner of Health will be discussing the steps the Department of Health has already taken to reduce the risk for New Yorkers. That's happening online at 1 o'clock this afternoon. We'll post a link to the webinar on our website, news10.com.
Senator Kirsten Gillibrand wants the Department of Veterans Affairs to change its policy when it comes to medical marijuana. Right now, doctors at the VA can't talk about medical marijuana with their patients, even in states where it is legal. Gillibrand believes veterans who live in those states should be able to talk about medical marijuana as a treatment option. However, the executive director of the Drug Free America Foundation says research shows marijuana is a harmful drug.
February is American Heart Month, and today advocates from across the state will be meeting with legislators to ask for budget funding to improve heart health for all New Yorkers. Representatives from the American Heart Association will be asking for $20 million in funding to improve access to healthy foods, as well as continue the tobacco control program and obesity prevention programs. The group will also work to implement CPR training in schools. They'll be speaking with legislative leaders at 10 o'clock this morning at the state capitol.
It is 6:09 right now, and as we've been saying all morning, weirdly warm.
Yes, it is.
Yeah, 49 degrees here in Albany right now. The race to the White House has garnered record attention on social media, and the first votes have yet to be cast, but today is a big day.
Coming up, how the internet is preparing for today's caucuses, what you need to know if you want to be in on that conversation.
And still ahead, see this toddler's emotional reaction after she cut her own hair.
Good morning from the mobile storm tracker. We're in downtown Albany where it's a warm Monday morning, near 50 right now. A full report coming up.
First, though, another quick look out at the roadways from high above the Corning Tower. A few cars out there. Commute begins to pick up. Stay with us and wake up with 10.